Hello dear ones, and welcome to my channel. I hope that September has been kind to you. I've had a lot going on. I was hoping to get a video out sooner, but it's been kind of hectic around here. About a little over 2 weeks ago, my husband and I were going for a walk in the local park, and while we were walking along the path, we looked over and saw a little black hole at the base of a tree, and then it moved. And we were like, oh my God. So we went to figure out what was going on, and it was a little black kitten. So we couldn't just leave him there. He was frightened. He was alone. There was no one around. And every time a car went by, he was scared. So we went and we got a crate and brought it back and brought him home, not knowing what we were going to do. But all we knew was that we couldn't just leave him there. So we brought him to the vet. We had him checked out, got him his vaccines. He had fleas, he had worms. We got all of that taken care of. And in that time, we were trying to find a home for him. And during the process, we just fell completely in love with him. He is just the sweetest little kitten, the sweetest cat. Oh my God. That's him actually playing with the other cats. So needless to say, we fell in love with him and we decided to adopt him. And he is so affectionate and fun and sweet, and he loves to cuddle. He loves to be held and snuggled, and he purrs, and he loves to climb into our bed and snuggle up to us. He is the sweetest little angel baby. And anyways, I would like to introduce you to our new little one. So let me get him for you. This is him. This is little Orlok. We named him after Count Orlok from Nosferatu. But look, I don't know if you can see his little eyes, but look how brown they are. I've never met a kitten with brown eyes before. But he's a little angel and we love him so much. So that was Orlok, and now I would like to talk to you about some of the things that I've been working on. As some of you know, I am a Halloween artist, and I do Halloween artwork year-round. This year has been a little bit different, as I'm sure many of you can feel it. I haven't had much space in my brain for imagining or daydreaming or creating. It's been filled up with things that I don't even want in there. But it is the reality of our lives right now. Anywho, that being said, I wasn't gonna do a big Halloween collection this year like I do every year. But at the last minute, I decided that I'm going to do a very small Halloween collection release this year, which I'll do on October 1st in my Etsy shop. But anyways, that's something that I've been working on. I will have 4 dolls available and a handful of ornaments. I wish I could show you some of the things I've been working on right now, but I like to keep them top secret pretty much right up into the last minute. And I may do a little video just before the release. If I have time, I might do a little video to reveal what I've been working on. But also, let me see here. I wrote down a bunch of stuff to tell you about. I wanted to show you some other things I've been working on. So one thing that I've been developing, I love pins, I love brooches, and honestly I've been just trying to figure out different ways to recycle things, and some stuff that maybe can't be recycled. And I came up with this new brooch. This is a curio brooch. Let me put it up there so you can see it. So this is a hand sculpted tooth with a sigil on it that I've created. And I have built it up with cardboard and made kind of a frame for it. And then the sort of glass is the same material that I used for the planchet brooch. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that. It's kind of a neat little curio to walk around with. But that's something that I've been working on just for funsies. And then also this shawl right here, I wanted to show you. I crocheted it over the summer, and this was actually, I had gone to a thrift store, and actually I found this. It's sort of like a, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's like a metallic color, like it's black metallic. And so it was a sweater, and I frogged the sweater to make this amazing shawl. So I'm gonna just go back here and show it to you. It's got fringe on it. And I believe the pattern is called Bohemian Shawl, and I think it's by Yarnspirations. I'll look it up, and if I'm correct, I'll put the link below here in case anybody out there, but this one's crocheted. But something that I noticed recently is I was going through some family things, and I came across my grandmother's knitting needles. I had learned how to knit maybe like 20 years ago, and I only ever learned how to knit like scarves. And well, I found these knitting needles, and I just started to play, and I realized that maybe I'm more of a knitter than a crocheter. Crochet is new to me also. I only started crocheting like, I don't know, a year ago or something. So that being said, I bought a pattern off of Etsy from this, it's from Fable Knitwear on Etsy, and I will share a picture of that, of the sweater. But I'm actually knitting a sweater right now, and I wanted to show you the progress I've made, which is like none. This thing is probably going to take me at least a year to make, because I tend to like work on a lot of things all at the same time. And so I move very slowly when I'm creating things, especially when I'm making things for myself. So this is what I have so far. This is the ribbing, which I'm really proud of because I haven't screwed it up yet. And usually with ribbing, I mess it up. I've been doing some practicing. But anyways, I found this like really pretty sort of like purplish yarn at the Yarn Barn in Lawrence, Kansas. And so that's what I've been using to knit my beautiful sweater. And actually, you know what? I can show you real quick here. So this is like a picture of the sweater, and look at those sleeves. I think that's what won me over, were like the sort of like balloon sleeves. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm really excited to see if I can actually pull this off. It's my first sweater. It's my first garment, and it works from the bottom up. And from what I understand, working from the top down is much easier, but of course I would pick something that's going to be a little more difficult. And okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about in terms of things that I've been working on. But before we move on, I wanted to show you something a friend of mine actually made for me for my birthday. last month, she did a little drawing of Corpsey Lou. Look at that. That's me right there, guys. So shout out to my friend Kaylee who made this amazing illustration. I love it so, so much. I'm actually gonna put it in a frame if I can. All right, so next let's talk about movies. So I wanted to talk to you about my top 5 September movies. I'm not touching on any like Tim Burton stuff because I feel like everybody has seen Tim Burton stuff. Everybody talks about Tim Burton stuff. And quite honestly, probably a lot of people have seen the movies that I'm going to discuss or have seen others talk about the movies that I'm about to discuss. They're really, with YouTube these days, with anything, social media, there really isn't anything that falls through the cracks anymore. So I'm not gonna like try to reinvent the wheel. I'm just gonna tell you about the movies that kind of like give me like really good September fall vibes. Some of them are spooky, some of them are not, but just have like a lot of like autumn vibes. And also probably next month we'll talk about some movies that I like for October and for Halloween specifically. Like there's one movie that ever since it came out, I will watch it forever on Halloween night. Anyways, let's get started. So let me just pull, I've got a few DVDs. Some of the other ones that I have on the list, one of my DVDs is missing. I don't know where it is, so I can't show you in this video, but maybe I can like show you a little picture or something like up in the corner. I don't know. And then one of them is actually streaming and it is so good. Okay, so this first one that I want to talk to you about, when I lived in Massachusetts, close to 10 years ago, I was like in the library and I was always at the library. It was like the most magical, beautiful, like Victorian mansion library that I've ever seen, and it just happened to be in the town that I lived in. They had like a video rental section, and so I was always going through there and like looking for stuff. And that's where I came across this movie. I had never heard of it, and I was like, well, I'll give it a try. I tell you what, it's this movie right here. This movie is so beautiful on so many levels, and like it's a sweet story, and it just kind of like fills your heart with wonder. And it's one of those movies that like while you're watching it, you just feel really good. And then after it's finished, you feel good, you know? And so I wanted to share this one specifically. So it takes place in the fall. There's a couple that they really want to have a child, but they get the news that they can't, and they're devastated. So the night that they find out that they can't have a kid, they decide to write down all of the qualities that their kid would have had. And afterwards, they put it in a box and they bury it in their garden. And then it rains. And I'm not going to say any more, but this movie, you guys, if you want something that's going to make you feel happy, full of wonder, and you want some really good autumn vibes, this is the movie for you. So, anyways, there you have it. Oh, also though, when you're watching this, major suspension of disbelief, like all over the place. There are so many things that would be like, aside from the basic premise of the story, just all the things that happen, it's like that would never, you'll see what I mean when you watch this, but please watch it. It'll make you feel happy. And I want you to feel happy. All right, so the next one that I have, the next one that I wanted to tell you about, that it's a September movie to me, and I don't know if that's because I think it came out in September. It came out like a couple years ago on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, and it's called No One Will Save You. And it is such an amazing movie. And it was one of those movies that like I thought about for a really long time after I saw it, and it was so well done. The acting is incredible. I don't want to give too much away, but it is, it's kind of an alien story, which I'm not usually into like alien sci-fi stuff, but this one was incredible. And there's hardly any dialogue throughout the film. In fact, I think I think the main character maybe says like one line in the whole movie, which maybe sounds a little boring, but it's not. And like her acting is so good. You can tell what she's feeling. You can like tell what she's thinking. It's incredible. So if you get the chance to watch it, No One Will Save You. I think that's a great September movie. I don't know why. It feels like September to me. So there's that one. The next one I have for you is a movie that used to play a lot when I was like young. And it was like always on HBO or I think HBO mostly. But it's called House Sitter. And that's the one that I can't find my copy of. It's somewhere around the house, but I don't know where it went. But it has Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin in it. The trailer is absolute crap. Do not watch it if you are thinking about watching the movie and you're like, well, let me watch the trailer first so I can get an idea of. Do not do that. The trailer did them dirty. I tell you what. But the movie is so funny and cute and just oddball. Steve Martin plays this guy who like he's an architect, and he just proposes to his longtime girlfriend since like high school with a house, and she turns him down, and so he's heartbroken, and he winds up meeting this waitress played by Goldie Hawn. And he's drunk, and he tells her about this house, and it sounds like this really sort of like, like quintessential New England town sort of feel. And so she decides she's gonna squat. So she she finds the house, and she goes there, and she starts to like win over the hearts of everybody that lives in town. And he shows up and finds her there. And anyways, it's really funny, and it's really sweet, and it's another one of those films that's just gonna make you feel good watching it. And it is it's a fall movie, and it's like super cozy, and like all these like cozy things happen in it, and I highly recommend it. House Sitter with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn. I think maybe you can find it on YouTube. I'm not for sure, but look it up if you can. It's definitely worth a watch. The next movie that I want to talk to you about is one that everybody has heard of. Like, there have been memes about it. Probably everybody that's watching this has seen it. And if you haven't, what are you doing? And it is this movie right here, The Sixth Sense. This movie is so good. Even if you have already seen it and you know how it ends, give it a rewatch, because this movie is good even as a rewatch, even if you know the ending. It's just the atmosphere of the film. It's autumn. You can see that it's autumn. There are like leaves skittering across the ground. The lighting in the film, the acting is so, so good. And there are ghosts. Some of them very scary ghosts. I am not going to talk too much about this one or like give you the premise, because, well, for one, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away, but you probably have already seen it, so you don't even need me to tell you about it anyways. So, The Sixth Sense. It's a good September movie, I think. It's a good like transitional movie into October. Okay, the final movie that I wanted to tell you about is, okay, confession. I love my Lifetime films. I love some Hallmark Channel movies. I don't know, I just love the simplicity of them and that they're like not too complicated. This is another gem that I found at the library that I was just telling you about one day. I picked it up. I love this movie. It's predictable, but I feel like it's pretty well acted, and it's it's gross a little bit at times. And anyways, it's called The Devil's Diary. It's about these two girls who are like misfits at school. It starts off like in the cemetery. One of them is like pranking the other one. While they're out there, there's like this flash of lightning, which is like at the base of like a gravestone. There is a book, and they pick up the book, and one of them just like starts to become attached to it, and it says something inside like, if you write in this book, then you can have anything you want, blah blah blah, or like all your dreams will come true, or something silly like that. So the girl starts to write in the book. The more she writes in it, like the angrier she gets. She starts to change, almost like she's becoming possessed, and she starts writing stuff to hurt other students at the school because like the popular crowd is like awful, which is always the way it is. Anyways, so yeah, so she's like writing like mean stuff about the popular crowd, and like so they start getting like picked off. And anyways, it's really good for a Lifetime movie, I think, and I would recommend it if you like the sort of back to school vibes. And it's simple. It's not like super duper scary or anything. I mean, it's Lifetime Channel, guys, but it's a really good one, I think. So next, I wanted to talk to you about something that it's not one of my September suggestions, but it's a movie that I saw recently that I loved so freaking much. I just have to talk about it, and that is the movie Weapons. It came out, I think, at the end of August, and I saw it the second week. I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like if you're going to go see it, you should go in blind. But Zach Kreger is such a brilliant writer and director. His movies, they're like, you watch the trailer and you think you're getting one movie, but then when you go see it, you're getting an entirely different movie than what you thought you were getting, but in the best way. I wish I could elaborate more on that. But I tell you what, that movie was an absolute gift to me because I have had so many thoughts in my head that I don't want in there lately that it seems like there's almost no room for anything else. If you know, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This movie, like, first of all, going to see it, I was completely present. Like, I wasn't even like thinking about these other things. After I saw the film, I thought about it a lot, and that was really, it was like a vacation from all of the negative things that have been crammed into my head lately. And I know so many of you out there are feeling that too. And so what I say to that is find art that brings you joy. Find art that moves you. Because, and I've seen this a lot, like people are saying art is an act of defiance. And the truth is, it is. It is. Because when people are trying to tell you what to think, when people are trying to tell you what to feel, and they're cramming thoughts inside your head, just like pummeling you every day in your mind, you're giving them so much space in there without even realizing it. Like, where are you? Where is your light? Where is your spirit? Don't let anybody do that to you. Don't let anybody cram things into your head to the point where you can't create anymore, where you can't find joy anymore. And I feel like art is a great gateway for that, whether it's movies, whether it's music, paintings, any other form of art. And I realize that it's, maybe a form of escapism, but the truth is there's so much awfulness going on in the world right now that it is sometimes hard to break away from that. And in order to continue on, because nobody can continue on like that, nobody can thrive like that, we're here to live. We're here to feel, the wind on our skin when we're like out on a walk. We're here to, make things that make us happy, to make friends, to experience things, to be curious about things. That's why we're here, guys. We're not here to be stuffed full of negative crap. It's just, that's no way to live, to actually live. Don't let anybody do that to you, okay? So find something that makes you happy. And I mean, like, for instance, many years ago, I tried to do The Artist's Way. It's a book of like different things that you can do in order to have like a more creative life. And I started it, but I didn't get very far because, and a lot of people live by this, but there's like sort of like journaling that you do every single morning, and it's like you have to write 3 pages, which is fine, but you're supposed to write stream of conscious. And the problem with that is that my thoughts kept going the negative way. And for a long time I thought, well, I'm just dumping my brain so that I can like free up space for like better stuff, but that wasn't the case. Like, by writing it down every morning, I was dwelling on it for the rest of the day. But that aside, something that I did learn from that is one of the things that she has you do in the book is go on artist dates. And this can be like something simple like, going to a museum by yourself. But you have to go alone. You have to go by yourself, and you pick an experience. And one of the things that I decided to do for myself, my artist date one time, was I decided to go to a store and sniff all of the candles until I found the one that made me the happiest. And so that's what I did. That was my date. I just went and I just like sniffed all the candles. Like, that was my entire date. And I found one that I loved and I brought it home. And then every morning I lit it and I did a little meditation. And I tell you what, that really made a difference. So maybe find your own artist date. Find something that's just going to bring you joy. Maybe it's going out to the park and just picking up, the most perfect pine cone. I don't know. But anyways, definitely, try to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself out there. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about some of the books. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm doing the same thing that all the other YouTubers are doing out there, but you know what? These are just things I want to talk about. This is my channel, so I'm going to talk about them. So I'm going to tell you about some of the books that I've been reading, that I'm going to read, that I'm currently reading, and I'll let you know my thoughts on those. Okay, so I just went and got my stack of books. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Wayward. This one I read, I think, towards the end of July. And I love a good witch story. This was, I would say, like a cozy book. It does deal with some dark subject matter, some triggering stuff as well, but overall it's kind of a cozy book, and that's kind of what I was thinking as I was reading it, for as dark as it went. It takes place in 3 different timelines. I think one is the 1600s, I think. The next timeline is the 1940s, and the third timeline is like kind of like current day. And it's these 3 women that are like ancestors from each other. They are essentially like witches, but it's more like natural magic with like insects and things like that, rather than like, you know, I don't know, like mysterious, like spooky stuff. So um it was okay. It was okay. I mean, it was good. I think for me, I have a problem with different timelines. I understand how it like we like, or different like points of like, when you're reading a book and you read one chapter and you start to get invested in what's happening with that character, and then the chapter ends and you're on to the next chapter and it's like another character, and so then you're like, okay, but I really wanted to know what was happening with that first character, and so you're now having to read the second one, and then you get invested in that one, and then bam, then you have another character. So for me, that's very frustrating. I like a book that just kind of like goes through. But I mean, I'd say, you know, I'd recommend it. Sure. And this is why I don't have like a book channel. Okay, the next one that I read after that was A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. And I read her first book, which was like the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And that one was, it was just like really sweet, and like, these books are like, I don't know, just like drinking a cup of tea. It's just like comforting and sweet and like cozy. It's about this witch who performs a spell when she's very young that winds up having her magic taken from her. And she runs a magical inn, because the inn was like, I guess, imbued with magic before this happened to her. And she spends her whole life like just trying to get the magic back. It's sweet. There's always like a love story in it, in Sangu Mandana's like these witch books. But anyways, it's just a very sweet book, and it'll make you feel happy. And so I highly recommend her books. I really do. I mean, like I said, they're not like horror. They're not like scary. Anyways, if you're looking for something that's just going to make you feel happy, and, you know, like you're getting a great big snuggly hug, I recommend this one. Okay, this next one, guys. This one I had on my shelf for a couple years, and I have never read anything by him before, but this was my first one, and oh my god, I read this so fast. This is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This book was so good. It's like, I felt like I was watching a movie play out in my mind. And I know that there's been a movie made of it. I haven't heard very good things about it, so I haven't seen it. But I really wanted to read the book, and I thought it was great. I really did. It genuinely creeped me out in parts, like genuinely creeped me out. There is a trigger warning, I will tell you. There's a dog that gets hurt in this book. I didn't want to read about that. I knew it was coming, so I actually looked up when it comes, and then I just skipped over that part. And I think people are probably, you know, maybe in the comments are gonna like yell at me for doing that, because I think it was maybe like a big part of the book, but I can't stomach that. I can't stomach animal cruelty. So anyways, but aside from that, this book was very good. Two best friends, they go to the lake one time, like this one time for like a friend weekend with like a few other girls or whatever, and something happens to one of these best friends, and she changes, and so it's about trying to figure out what's wrong with Gretchen. And also, this book is pure 1980s. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Definitely. I read it so fast. Okay, so this next one, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. This book is called The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. I just finished it recently. It takes place in like the Victorian era in Manhattan, like the 1880s, I think. It's about two witches that run a tea shop, and they specialize in sort of like potions and like fortune telling. And there's some really dark stuff going on just down the block from them. And there's this girl, like maybe like 17 or 18 or something, and she's like coming from like, I think essentially the Hudson Valley, and she decides she's going to seek employment here because she saw an ad for it. So she shows up at their door, and but on her way there, something happens to her that sort of like presents her with a special gift, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it adds like this whole other dimension to what they do at their shop. There are some dark parts in this. The girl, after maybe a week or so, actually goes missing. So then they try to find her. And anyways, it's good. I felt like it was kind of like a slow, quiet read. I felt like the world building was really good. It really did feel like you were in like Victorian era New York City. I liked the characters. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'd recommend it. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so this next book that I want to tell you about is the one that I am currently reading. It is called Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker. And there's been a lot of buzz around this book, and for good reason. This book is so good. It is so good, you guys. I'm tearing through it, and quite honestly, I catch myself reading the same sentences over and over and over again, sometimes even whole paragraphs. And not because I'm like not absorbing what the author is saying, but because it's so beautifully written and the sentences are just so perfect. I have to read them again. This is a heavy book. There is a lot of horror in it, but on so many different levels. It, I'm not going to tell you anything about this book, honestly. I'm sure if you're interested, you are going to look it up, and other people will tell you about it. But I'm not going to, because all I'm going to say is this book is meaningful, it's special, and if you love horror and really fantastic writing and excellent character development, read this. It's so good. All right. And another book that I have that I just kind of like read a little bit here and there is In Vast Spaces of Night by Corinne Phillips. She's a seller on Etsy. She does like perfumes and stuff, and I have a couple of them and they're so good. I love them. But she writes really beautiful poetry and short essays that remind me a lot of Ray Bradbury, and she just really captures the Halloween spirit and the feeling of autumn so beautifully and so perfectly. I highly recommend this, In Vast Spaces of Night. Corinne Phillips. Next, these are the books that I want to get to in October, I'm hoping. One is Carmilla. I've seen Hungerstone recommended a lot, but I don't want to read that without first reading the source material, because Hungerstone is a retelling of Carmilla. Carmilla was, I think, maybe like one of the OG vampire stories that was written even before Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. And it's actually a female vampire. And so I'm very interested in reading this. I'm very excited to read this. This other one that I'm super excited to read is The Bewitching by Sylvia Marino Garcia. This one, from what I understand, has 3 different timelines as well. It's a witch story. I'm excited to read it because I've heard really, really fantastic things about it. But at the same time, it has the different like timeline jumps, and that always puts me off. But I've heard it has like some really good like atmospheric vibes and everything, and so I'm really looking forward to reading it anyways. And I've never read anything by her before, but I've heard she's a very, very good author. So I expect that when I read this, I will probably just be like sucked right in. Okay, and then finally, this book, if I can't get through it in October, I'm happy to push it to November, because I think it would still be a great like November or December book even. And that one is My Darling Dreadful Thing. This is by Joanna Van Veen, and I've heard very good things about it. It's a sapphic novel. It's also like a gothic mystery. So I love romance. I love a good gothic romance. And so I'm really excited to read this. I've also heard that it's super creepy, so that should be fun. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know we covered a lot of different things. I do have some plans for next month for sure. And I'm hoping maybe if I can later this month, I will do like a decorating video. I'm hoping. It all depends on whether or not I have the time with my art release that I'll be doing, because I really need to invest a lot of time into that. But I do decorate my house for Halloween, of course. I have Halloween stuff up all year round, like in my art studio and throughout the house, but I have choice pieces that I only pull out for the Halloween season. So anyways, hopefully I can get to that. And then I also have some fun things planned for October, hopefully. We'll see. I tell you what, editing is a lot of work, you guys. But it's worth it. This is honestly, this filming these videos for you is cathartic for me, I think. I get to talk about Halloween stuff, spooky stuff, like autumn. I love talking about those things. And I love talking about those things to other people that I know also appreciate those things. So, all of that being said, I guess this is it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that you have a perfectly magical day. And I am so excited to talk to you next time. Bye for now, everyone.